Hello, Shannon here. In today's episode, I had the pleasure of interviewing Andrea Miller of a brand new dating app for active singles called Slindir. What I love about Andrea's message is that she shares with us tools that you can use not only for dating, but in everyday life. So listen in and prepare to be inspired. Andrea, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about you and about this new creation?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Slinder it's a dating app, and its main focus is to bring active, like-minded singles together. And the real premise about that is just so that it's an app that's driven by compatibility. I felt like there wasn't a lot out there for people like us, and kind of focusing on what really matters. So it was a way of kind of having that medium platform where people like us can go to find each other who are single and looking for some meaningful relationships. So I'm myself an active person too. I've been doing it all my life. I was a competitive swimmer. I did every sport known to man, when I was young: soccer, softball, gymnastics, everything. And I absolutely love it. And the reason I love it is because it's just part of me. It's part of my lifestyle. It's part of my DNA. So that's why, finding someone like-minded is my first non-negotiable. So I figured, okay, if that's what I need, I imagine there's so many people out there that need the same thing. So that's really where it started from.
Great. So if you have created this dating app for like-minded physical people, it sounds like you probably went on a handful of dates or more with people who maybe you thought were like-minded and physical, and you were unpleasantly surprised.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. That's actually probably that was the catalyst to going, wow, there needs to be something out there for people like me. It was probably about 6 years ago, and I went online and I gave myself, I think, about 2 dates where I thought, these people are going to be great. They're just like me. This is going to be awesome. And it was terrible, absolutely terrible. So that's where I kind of thought, okay, I probably have a better chance going to a run and saying hi to someone while I'm running down a marathon or something. But no, this is definitely the way to do it. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. It was from trial and error myself.
Okay. And that way you don't have to go for a run handing out your business cards with your contact information.
Although I have been known to do that, and I do scout that way. Absolutely. That's where you get the best prospects. I'm scouting for everyone. So.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, definitely. But it's great because then I get to do what I love to do, which is go out there and meet people and work out. It's a great way to do it.
So I'm guessing then that when you were a kid, you didn't have these dreams of, oh, when I grow up, I'm going to create an app. Not that we had apps back then, but I'm going to create the best way for people to find each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we all kind of, I just look back and I think I know I was going to grow up to do something good. I knew I had a lot to offer, and then we all find ourselves kind of weaving into the corporate world in some way. And that's what I did. I went into marketing, but I still never thought like this was my thing. This was what I really loved doing. I did it, but I didn't love it. It wasn't me. And then when I kind of fell into this like dating space in a way, and I just started to read more about it, I went, wow, this is really what I love doing. I love helping people find love because it's really helping people be their best selves. I love seeing happy couples. I love seeing people happy, and, relationships form a big part of that, whether it's, romantic or anything. So then that's where I really started to tap into this area that I loved because of that.
Okay, cool.
But,
so when you were
initially,
okay, but when you were working, did you find that you were playing matchmaker?
In a way I was, absolutely. I was really invested. All my girlfriends were coming to me for advice. I found that I was going, how are things going? Okay, talk to me. What do we do? And we would plan a strategy, and I would really be their on-call person to really walk them through that dating journey. But I loved it because, I was helping them, give them confidence, encouraging them to be the best they could be, encouraging them to stay positive if for some reason it didn't go well, So yes, absolutely. When I looked back, I thought, wow, I might actually be okay with this because for the last few years, I have been consulting with my friends, and I even had 2 friends that I hooked up probably 4 years before that. So I thought, wow, maybe this is my calling.
Oh, I love it. So if you are already setting up your friends and they're coming to you with advice and you're asking them how it's going, I know a lot of the work I do is on having a positive mindset, and you just said something along the lines of helping them have a good mindset. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have this thing where I say, as long as you're being your best self and you're happy with who you are, you can pretty much do anything. And I find that with a lot of my girlfriends, it's not even sometimes just talking about the dates, it's talking about themselves and what they're okay with and what they want in life. So sometimes I find I'm really just working with them one-on-one and making sure that they're as, strong mentally as they can be so that they go into their dates with a really positive mindset, because that's where it all starts. It's at that point with them that they can it can go, really well because they wanted to, or they can almost sabotage it because they're not going to believe it's possible. So like you said, it's really from those beliefs. And that's where you realize, when I got into this dating thing and I was working with my friends, I realized, wow, it's not just about putting good people together. It's about making sure they are in the right mindset and they're ready for it and they want it and they have the necessary tools, to think positively and believe that good things will happen. So that's a big part of it.
So when somebody goes out on a date, are they, when they're thinking negatively or they're beating themselves up, what are those kind of negative thoughts? Is it, I'm never going to find a man, the good ones are taken kind of thing?
Yeah. A lot of it is just doubt. It's self-doubt. It's I hope I said everything okay, or I hope this went all right. I hope he really likes me. And I start going, hang on, did you like him? Or, and then this goes vice versa. I mean, obviously I'm speaking because I speak to a lot of girls, but it really is for both. It's more just about knowing that it's about what you want and that it's a good person for both of you. So it's amazing. It was amazing to me how many people question themselves, if a person likes them. And I'm thinking, well, did you like them too? And it's all about a conversation. And it also takes time to get to know somebody. So I try to make sure that they're not so hard on themselves at the beginning. And they also don't put too much emphasis on it. Just go out, have fun. I think the main thing is mainly just relax, because then you can be yourself. And like I said, that's when you can really do anything. And people will see that. People feed off and can read, other people's feelings. A lot of my girlfriends get so nervous and then they're going, oh, I wonder what happened. But it's just, you got to relax. Nobody wants to be with anyone inauthentic, just like you wouldn't want to be with anyone inauthentic. So I just try to encourage them to be themselves. That's the main thing.
That's beautiful. So you have this app, it's getting ready to launch soon.
Yeah.
And you obviously have a lot of insights and understanding in the dating world. Is your expertise going to be infused in this app or somewhere behind the scenes where if somebody joins your app, they can also get access to your amazing brain?
Yeah, I am definitely. I mean, I actually went and became a certified matchmaker. That's how serious I am about helping people find love.
What?
So that's where I can really add value. And I think that was also the differentiating point of the brand. And I wanted it to be like, okay, yeah, there's an app, which is where people can meet people, but I also want to be able to help people and I want to help them, guide them through their dating journey. So absolutely, by joining up, I'm going to pretty much put everyone on a newsletter. And every 2 weeks or so, I'm going to be giving out content. And it's almost like being your cheerleader, because this is all about sports, right? Everyone needs a good cheerleader, inspiration, constant, encouragement. Someone just saying, go out there, don't worry about it. You may be busy, but just, you never know. And, everyone always needs that, because everyone gets busy, they get bogged down, they maybe get, hard on themselves. So it's the way I like to, coin them is that they're just kind of like inspirational newsletters on a bi-weekly basis, which is all about just things to think about, things to focus on. So that way, to kind of set them up for success. So absolutely. That's a huge part of it.
I love what you said. This is a sport. Dating is a sport.
Yeah, exactly. We can relate to that, right? Come on. Don't you want to win that sport? No, I'm kidding, but yeah.
Well, we do want to win. We want to win at relationships. We want to win at love. We want to win at life. In our own little way.
Of course, we don't want to be the person sitting there going, why is everyone else getting it except me? But at the same time, that would be you sitting at the gym and going, why is everyone else really toned and I'm not? Well, you got to put the effort in. You got to be accountable. You got to, and it's a good point that you made, because I actually do kind of compare it sometimes to, like where you go to the gym to build strength physically, by dating, you're building mental strength. You got to do it often. And you got to put the effort in. That's how you get stronger. That's how you get more comfortable with it. That's how you get more confident with it. So my main thing too is just encouraging people to get out there as much as possible, whether it's the app, whether it's going to a networking event, going out with friends, anything. Just get out there and talk to people. That's really how it starts.
I love what you said, that building that confidence muscle, because confidence is something you can see, you can feel it in other people. When somebody comes into a room and they have confidence, you're like, whoa, you notice them.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you're saying it, I kind of feel like everyone can have that. Everyone has it in their own way. It's not like, okay, he's musically inclined and I'm not, or they can do this and I'm not. I think it's one of those things that everyone can have. And it is a lot about how you carry yourself, but it's all about, how strong you are with yourself, how happy you are with yourself. And just like I said, back to the first thing is going in there knowing that you have something to offer. And as long as you know that, people are going to take to you. You know, that's why when you go into dating, it's a conversation. You're always going to learn something from someone. That's what I always did. I always went into a date, and how I stayed relaxed was I always said, I'm going to come away with some new information. Okay, maybe it's a new movie I need to see. Maybe it's a book I need to read. Maybe it's you know, something about anything. If they mention anything I'm not sure about, I'm inquisitive and I want to know more. So that way, either way, if it doesn't work out to be a romantic relationship or even a friendship, I've come away with some new interesting, you know, information that I can take and use in my life. So that's another good way to kind of take the focus off, you know, the expectation or anything like that, and turn it more on just making it more of a, hey, I'm just going to meet somebody good and see what happens.
Right. So as long as you are going into it thinking, I'm going to get something out of this, it might not be the relationship I want, but I'm going to get something, a new idea, then that kind of mindset is a good way to go into the dating process.
Yeah, it's twofold. You come out with something, but at the same time, what it's doing behind the scenes is it's making you relaxed. You've removed the expectation of, is this going to be that? Is this going to be this? What if it's not this? Which is all, you know, worry, which is then not in the present moment. And it's really all about being present, having a conversation, listening to that person, responding to what they say, not thinking, oh, what should I be saying after this? What am I going to ask? You don't have to ask anything. You just have to, both people just need to show up, be them best selves, be present, be enjoyable, and be good company. And even still, the other thing I also tell my friends is I go, just worry if you want to see them again. That's really all you need to do on that first date. Just worry if you want to maybe go and see them again, maybe make it an active date. The cool thing about the active community and stuff is that, you know, when you share those positive experiences together, which is a lot of doing things together, you know, outdoorsy and all that kind of stuff, I say that it basically shares positive experiences, and that really kind of forms the foundation of a long-lasting relationship. So, and at the same time, it also, what I heard from a scientist as well, is that it imprints on the brain better. It imprints even more, you know, those kind of adrenaline-filled activities. So people have that positive experience associated with the person. So it's kind of another good reason why going on active dates, or then maybe if you go out for a drink, then you go out and do something fun together, is a good idea.
Oh, I love that. I'm wondering, because the dating scene, you know, you hear so many stories. Can you share with us one of your worst dating experiences?
My worst dating experiences. You know, let's see. I'm sure there's plenty, but that's a really good question.
Or a discouraging date where you thought, that's it, I am never dating again, I'm single for life.
Yeah, you know, yeah, probably. The one that I would say, and this is quite interesting that I'm giving an online story because obviously I'm building something that's online, but it's also then encourages, you know, you do have to put a little bit more effort into it. You know, when you meet someone in person, you've already got that, oh, I know I'm kind of attracted to him. So it's kind of, you know, you're starting a little bit more ahead of the game. With online, you're kind of starting a little bit behind the boat because you don't necessarily know if they are who they are, if they look like their picture, things like that. So the one thing I probably did was I made a date that was probably way too long. So it was an entire day. And the thing is, again, when you show up with someone and you kind of go, oh, I just don't know if this is going to go so well. You know, you don't really want to spend the whole day with them, but at the same time, we actually went to an amusement park. So again, it was really fun. You can have fun with it. You got to just, again, I turned into my mode of, let's just get to know this person. Let's see what happens. You never know. So I think that would probably be the way, is kind of just maybe do a phone call first, or maybe something like that before you actually commit to a full day. Plus he had to drive really far, so I felt really bad that you know, I couldn't just be like, all right, well, I'm gonna go now. So yeah, that was probably
awesome.
it.
And then what about your best dating experience?
My best dating experience, I would say, it's so interesting because I think I'm always thinking of like one date, but at the same time it's definitely a journey of, once you start talking to someone, it's a multitude of dates. I would just say any date that ends in a really passionate kiss, that is the one for me. So the ones that stick out the most are ones where you just have a great time. It's good conversation. Oh, and the good thing about, you know, when they always say about the whole chemistry thing, it's really about just, you know, the chemistry is actually just how comfortable you are with someone. So I always find those are the most fun because you're actually just being yourself. You're encouraged to be yourself. Conversation flows, and it ends with a really nice kiss at the end. That would be great.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And when is Slindir set to launch? Do you have a month in mind or a season?
Yeah, definitely in the next few months. We're in the final stages of testing. We just want to make sure everything's working perfectly, so that way everyone gets seen, and hopefully there's no issues, even though we can't plan for everything, but we're doing our best. And yeah, I would say probably in the next month or two. Anyway, the best thing is you can definitely jump on the website, put in your name, and then that way I'll send out an email and say, everyone, it's ready, let's go, get on it. But yeah, probably about a month or two. So not long now, which is super exciting.
Okay, so we'll drop the link below the video and people can go, and even though it's not active yet, they can sign up to be part of the waiting list.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not on, it's ready to go on the app stores, but it's not there yet. So at the same time, if you just put your email address on the sign up tab, then you'll basically be on that mailing list that I was saying, or that newsletter list, and I'll be informing everyone from then, when to get on it and when it's ready to go. So it's a good idea to be there, so you get in early.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are some of the other success tips that you can tell us? Is there anything that you do as far as your own success rituals to get yourself ready for dates, or any tips that will be something that you send out in your newsletters? What can you share with us?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a few that I give. I mean, it's such great content, and I really kind of focus on one topic at a time. That way it's not bombarded with, here's your 10 tips or anything like that. It's really kind of focused. I would say the good thing, just to reiterate the part about putting the effort in, it's really not about just going on an app. And that's great. And people go, oh, I'm on an app and it's not working. I'm like, okay, well then you got to dive deeper. Why is it not working? Well, you got to make sure that you're putting the effort in, that you're actually spending time, you're going through people. It's not just about being present. It's about, making an effort. So therefore you see results. I mean, like I said, I know I always go back to the whole workout thing, but it's like anybody can just show up and sit there and not do anything and kind of go, well, I'm here, nothing's happening. You got to put that effort in. But, the beauty about our audience too is, people who live in active lifestyles, we're just kind of naturally driven. We're motivated. We love to succeed. So that's kind of infused in our DNA regardless, which is really good. And then, yeah, it's back to that thing of just kind of that authenticity, being yourself. Everything comes from a learning experience. So don't be so hard on yourself. I always say the hardest thing to do is mend two lives together after what if you're 25, 30, you've built your own friends, your career, you're this. So it's kind of like you're meeting at a crossroads and you're kind of making sure you want to continue on that road together. So if it works for some reason, great. But if it doesn't, don't be so hard. Don't think that all previous relationships are failures. It's all a part of it to find that one that you want to continue on the journey together. So the main thing again is kind of, but yeah, great. That's down the road. But again, when you're focusing on those first few dates, just don't look too far ahead. That's always what I say. Just concentrate on that person. Make sure you're having fun. Make sure they're a really good person. Look for the things, beyond attraction. Obviously attraction is important. You need that there, but there are other factors that you want to have present. And it's probably going to take a little time to know that. You're not going to know that after the first date. So it's always give it at least a good couple of times, and also don't put all your eggs in one basket. Dating is legal. That's what I say. It's highly encouraged. Get out there, go have some fun, and date till, someone really wants to go, I want to be yours and I want you all mine. So get out there and pack the pipeline, I say. Yeah.
What kind of advice do you have for somebody who keeps ending up on the bad dates? Like I'm 10 for 10. I keep going out, and what would you tell them?
Okay. If someone kept ending up on bad dates, I would kind of come back to them and say, okay, well, who are you choosing? Who are you looking for? Why are they bad dates? Are you not maybe giving them a call right before? Maybe do a little bit more pre-screening before you actually go out on the date, so you don't feel like you're wasting time. But at the same time, just, the point of online is that you have a lot of information there that's quite critical, to start. So, if you're only looking at maybe a photo, but not those other things, and then those things don't work out, you gotta kind of hold yourself accountable and say, well, what am I really looking for? So if you're going on 10 dates, I would actually say maybe then at that point, scale back on the dating and really focus more on doing a little bit more thorough, chatting with them, or research on their profile in terms of what you like and don't like about them. And kind of maybe choose a little bit more quality over quantity. That would probably be my size suggestion.
What have you learned over the past couple years on your journey going from dating and putting together this app and getting ready to launch?
What have I learned? So more, would you say in the dating or with the business side, or both?
All of it, just, your personal growth, because I'm sure you've probably changed and grown a lot as you've switched from the corporate world and
Yeah.
creating your own business,
Yeah.
and you just moved to San Diego.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your journey and what you've learned along the way?
Yeah. I think, you know, I love challenges, and I think that's why I do it. And I think that's the beauty about our audience, people who love fitness, is that it's all about, challenging yourself, whether it's mentally, strength, new races, new challenges. I know friends who are now doing, half Ironmans because they want to do something to challenge themselves too. So I realize that's where I work best. I work best with what I don't know, but that's how I learn, and I just got to kind of always continue to just stay true to myself. And that's what pulls me through. It's just that strength of going, I want to learn, I want to do it, I want to succeed, but I also want to help other people. And this is a really good opportunity where I can do this. So, I've just learned that I've got to just always, like everyone, remind myself how strong I am, and that it is a journey, that it's not going to happen tomorrow. I definitely thought things were going to happen a lot quicker, and it would be, everybody would be using it by now, but there's definitely always some, setbacks. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, get up, let's keep it going. I believe in what it is and what it will do for people, meaning Slindir the brand. And, I really look forward to hearing people say, hey, I met on your dating app and now we're happily married, or whatever it is. That kind of stuff really, really keeps me going. So it's really just continuously trying to come back to myself and go, I can do this. It's just self-encouragement, and going, because that's how I work.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So then what is your big vision for Slindir? If you could look down the road, what's next?
My big vision for Slindir, like I said, it's to get the most people, not only together through Slindir, because that's what it does. It brings people together, but also in really good, solid, compatible relationships, really healthy relationships. As you get to know people more and learn about people, you realize that a lot of these, setbacks they have or insecurities are, they come from childhood, they come from family, they come from everyone. And, I want to make a big difference right now in trying to set up really healthy relationships. So therefore there can be healthy families in the future and healthy children, and then growing up and, again, not having to work through so much to find a good partner. So the big vision is definitely to help people and set up as, the best relationships possible. From a personal standpoint, I'm so fortunate to be able to do what I want when I want and live an active lifestyle. It's a beautiful thing every day that I can just go out there and have a swim, have a surf, go for a run, go for a cycle, anything I want. So, what I've learned is that there's a lot of islanders in the islands, like in the Caribbean, who don't know how to swim. They're natives on an island, but they don't know how to swim. And I'm obviously a swimmer. So there are a couple of companies down there that are actually, and the reason they can't is because they can't afford swim lessons. And you think it's like $3 a lesson. And to us, that might seem like nothing, but to them, it's everything. And they just go, no, I'm not going to do it. So my bigger vision is, when it becomes successful and starts turning a profit, I'm going to be giving back, and would love to get down to those islands and support those companies that are helping people swim, so that way they can live a nice free lifestyle, just, like as fortunate as I have. So the main vision is to give back. Absolutely. That's probably the big vision. And that's an example of how I want to do that, because I think everyone should be able to have, it's swimming. Like we said, it's people with confidence, everyone should have the ability to swim. It's just a matter of, if it's the means, then let's help them, so yeah.
Wow, you have such a generous heart. Everything is being able to help others. And what I love about you is when I met you in person, I was instantly drawn to your confidence. I saw you and I thought, I want to know her. So it was so great that we got to sit next to each other and start chatting and find out more about what you do. And I love how committed you are to your own growth and to helping other people. It's really a beautiful gift you have to share.
Yeah, thank you. I'm almost reading about a book a week, while I do have a lot of time while I'm obviously building it, but at the same time, I feel like I am trying to educate myself so I can speak to people. I have a lot of, confidence in it in myself, and I was doing that, but at the same time, I want to come from an expertise perspective. So I'm reading a lot, I'm getting myself educated, and that's just so that I can provide the best service possible. And I'm just, I think a girlfriend told me it's one of my biggest strengths is I'm a sponge. I'm a sucker for learning. I love it. I just have this natural desire to want to know, feel, touch, everything. So, and I also know I learn by doing. So I just got to get out there, put myself in it, and then it's my job to overcome it. So, but thank you for noticing that. That's really sweet of you.
Yeah. Well, it's very easy to notice.
Good.
Okay, so I have a fun question for you.
Okay.
If you had a theme song, what would it be?
A theme song?
Yeah.
Ooh.
What's the Andrea theme song?
Andrea theme song. Wow, that one's out of the blue. That's a tough one.
And it might even be something that you have on a playlist when you're going to motivate yourself, or you're going to go be active. What's one of your go-to songs that just fires you up and gets you going, and you just resonates through your bones?
This probably is like super cheesy. I'm trying to think back to my playlist that I used to play before a big race or something. I'm sure like Rocky came in there at some point, like Eye of the Tiger or something like that. But anything upbeat. I mean, that's the thing. I really have songs based on moods, but when I am trying to get excited or ramped up or anything, and this is actually great. People can do this before dates too, get yourself jazzed. That's why sometimes people have a quick little, glass of wine or whatever, just to kind of release the nerves a bit. But just listen to some fun music. And for me, that's really upbeat, something I want to jam to and blast, pretty much anything else, sing in the car too. But no, I probably don't have a specific one, but definitely something with a beat that I just want to get up and dance.
Awesome. So Eye of the Tiger is actually mine.
Is it?
Yes. Love it.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
So Andrea, I have one last question for you.
Okay.
If you had a tagline, what would it be?
Okay. Well, I probably have two. No, I'm just kidding. I've got one for the brand. I came up one for the brand, which is hilarious, which I think will be funny. And that one is just because sweaty is sexy. That's my tagline of why, you kind of think, why Slindir? Why anyone else? Because, everyone loves breaking a sweat, and it is quite sexy. But no, back to that's more on a fun note, but on a more serious note, I would say, what I tell people is that no one's looking for anyone perfect, just someone perfect for them. So I know that ties back to everything we were saying about putting your best self forward. And that's, if people think, oh my God, I need to be something, you don't need to be anything. You just need to be yourself, because I know for myself, I don't want anyone perfect. I just want someone who is, good for me. So that's probably my favorite tagline.
I love that. It's so beautiful, because it's something, again, that you can feel when someone is trying to be something. We feel kind of repelled towards them, but when someone is just comfortable and being themselves, we're drawn in and we just want to know more and be with them more. So Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah, no one's looking for anyone perfect, just someone perfect for them. So it just kind of I think that's a good way to keep people in a good mindset of being themselves.
Yeah, and it's for everything, in every area of your life.
Everything. And you know what, and like you said before, I have a lot of confidence. I do pride myself on that. I see that as a strength. And then that's why I do feel it is my job to help others be more confident. I love it. I love sharing it. So that's more my mission. But at the same time, as you can see, is that there's times where I have to always encourage myself. I get down to, I have my crying fits. I think, oh my gosh, it's not going to work or anything. But I have that moment, and then I get back on. I get back up and I go for it. So I think what we think is, when we see other people, we think they've got so much going on, or they're this, and it's not hard for them. No, absolutely. Actually, I have a really funny story as well from work from back when. I was working in corporate, and the magazine editors, or one of the people at the magazine, said, "You look so put together every day. How do you do it?" I said, "Effort. It takes work." Which basically means, again, it's not like it just happens for people. People think, oh, they're just that and I'm this. No, it's putting in a conscious effort, and it's being, it's doing it. And then it just made me laugh, because it just means, again, I have to try too. So it's, I like that story. I think it's funny.
I think that's a great story, because a lot of people might say, oh, it was nothing.
Right. They might just play it off and go, oh, this, I just rocked out, or, I wake up like this. I'm like, no, I have to take conscious effort to go, what am I going to wear today? I want to look presentable. I'm in a sales role. This is my job, and also at the same time, it makes you feel good. So we all know that we sometimes feel better when we dress up and things like that. But yeah, no, I wasn't playing it off. I was saying, no, it takes work. So, you know,
I love that you have a theme where you have conscious effort into how you look, conscious effort into how you pick yourself up and put yourself out in the world, and then conscious effort to be present in the moment when you're on a date or when you're in a social situation.
Definitely. And those are just such key times in that beginning phase when you're talking to someone. You know, if you're not connecting with them, it's make or break at that point, you know. But we just kind of remove that wall and just talk to someone like a human being and listen and respond. You don't have to think about what you're going to say next, and then you're just going to be more connected with that person no matter what. And that's really the key when it comes down to, you know, a really good relationship, is that you really have that connection with each other. And if everyone's thinking about what's on their phone or something else or who's walking behind them, you know, it gets missed. But you know, you could be passing up on a good thing. So, you know, give it that time, be present. I think we all need to be a little bit more present these days without these little mini computers in our hands, you know. See a date as almost time out from your phone, right? You know.
It's so easy to get distracted.
Yeah, we're always thinking about something that's not happening right now. We're thinking about what we need to do later, what we did yesterday, what's this, instead of enjoying where we are right now. And yeah, I just thought of that now. But yeah, when you go on a date, think, great, that's 2 hours away from my phone, and I just get to learn about someone and they get to learn about me, and you never know what can happen out of that. So it'll go both ways.
Am I enjoying myself right now? Love it.
Love to have you.
Love it. Well, Andrea, thank you so much for sharing some of your expertise with us. I'm so excited for your launch and really excited I got to meet you and I get to call you a colleague and a friend. And I can't thank you enough for spending some time with us today.
Great. Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Bye.